So early in Tom's episcopacy, we had this idea of bringing a bunch of young people together and going out to Thompson Island for a week. And Tom agreed to be part of it. And we spent a week out there camping and doing ropes courses, and we spent a night out on the pulling boats. And I think Tom was a little bit outside of his comfort zone. I remember waking up in the middle of the night one night and watching a skunk walk across Tom while he slept, and then came and walked across me and kept right on going. So anyway, the week ended and we were all saying goodbye in the parking lot, and we were covered with bug spray and sunscreen and dirt because we hadn't showered for a week. And I thought, this is the end for our bishop and youth ministry. But he said, why don't you go home and get cleaned up and come over and meet me in Harvard Square. I'll buy you dinner. So I did. I went over and met him in the square, and we sat down, and he said, so what's next? What do we do now? And we sat there and sketched out the vision for what became the YLA. And that really epitomizes my experience of Tom's leadership. He's always ready for the next thing, even when he was out of his comfort zone. He was ready to go where the energy was and to lift up a ministry that he thought would make a difference. And so I shouldn't have been surprised when he came to visit our summer program. We had grown the St. Stephen's summer enrichment program from 20 kids to about 100. And I needed some help if I was going to keep it going at that level. And so Tom came and he saw the kids and spent the day with us. And at the end of the day, I said, so can you help me keep this going? And he said, I want there to be 500 kids in this program. I want this program in Dorchester and Mattapan and Chelsea. And I think that leadership that he provided has made all the difference. His willingness to back the things that he thought could work has led to so many great things happening, life together. His energy behind the Be Peace movement after George Fuentes was murdered. I wanted to do something to honor George's memory. Tom wanted to build a movement for real change, and that's why I have so much respect and love for him as a leader and as our bishop.
We have very few Episcopalians in the Massachusetts legislature. And I think that Tom has talked to all of them. I think, and he went out, and he always went out of his way to, when a new legislator came here and was vaguely Episcopalian or was an active member of his parish, Tom always made a point of meeting him. And I think that had a big effect, of course, with that representative as an individual, but it also, of course, this is the Episcopal Church, and we're into gossip, so everybody knew that he met with them. And that was very important. We, of course, had a very close relationship, Tom and I, and he was always interested in what I was doing up here. So much so that at one time when I decided to run for Speaker of the House, which was going to be a campaign where I knew I was not going to win, but it was a way to organize the progressives that were in the House at the time, Tom talked to me about that, and then the day I had my press conference up here to announce it, Tom came, which was just very nice. And I had to, and of course, I had to figure out how I was going to introduce him. I couldn't introduce him as my campaign manager, but I had to. So I introduced him as my spiritual advisor, which is probably the only time I ever introduced Tom in that fashion. But I think that he was interested in not only in getting the diocese involved in public policy, but he was interested in those Episcopalians that he knew who saw this as their primary ministry.
So the mission of Life Together is to raise up a generation of prayerful and prophetic leaders. And Bishop Tom has taught me how to do that with his example. He is a prayerful and prophetic leader in the ways that when he has an experience and takes it deep into his life of prayer, it changes him and it draws him into the world as a witness to reconciliation. So, to me, Bishop Tom is a powerful, prayerful, and prophetic leader.
Tom was always there when he thought his presence in the role of bishop could make a difference. When there was ECM Lobby Day, Tom was always there. When there were gun reform hearings, he got there, he spoke. When we built a movement to oppose military recruiting in Boston public high schools, Tom made sure he was there when we met with the superintendent. In the movement for equal marriage, Tom made sure that his presence was a part of that. And I think that that was important to a lot of people, and I think it made a difference. It put us on the map and helped every one of those movements gain traction.
Bishop Tom has come to teach every year in the Life Together program, and each year he's taught really the same thing, which has been powerful, about how to pray. And he has invited these young adults from varying traditions to consider that their desire, that the desire that God has planted in their lives, is a holy desire, and to bring all of that in front of God, which is an encouragement of a holistic spiritual formation that starts with prayer. And he has been an example of that for all of us in the Life Together program, and I think throughout the diocese.